Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In this lecture, we are going to study improved series inverter with coupled inductors. This improved series inverter with coupled inductor is made to eliminate one of the limitations of the basic series inverter, that is the limitations on the output frequency. In the basic series inverter, we have studied that the maximum frequency of the basic series inverter is limited by the ringing frequency, and this limitation of the basic series inverter circuit will be eliminated in this improved series inverter with coupled inductors circuit. Before starting this video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. And if you want to see the videos related to basic series inverter and limitations of the basic series inverter, you can check them in the channel playlists. This is the circuit diagram of improved series inverter with coupled inductor. Here you can see we are using two inductors L1 and L2 which are closely coupled with each other, and the inductance of both these inductors will be equal. That means inductance of L1 will be equal to inductance of L2 in this circuit. In this circuit of improved series inverter, S1 SCR and S2 SCR can be simultaneously turned on, and if they are simultaneously turned on, there will not be any danger of short circuit of the input power supply due to the presence of these closely coupled reactors L1 and L2 in the circuit. So in this circuit of improved series inverter with coupled inductor, this SCR2 can be turned on even before the load current has reached to 0 or before this SCR1 has been turned off. That means during the conduction of this S1 SCR also, this S2 SCR can be given trigger pulse, and there will be not any problem of short circuit of the input power supply due to the presence of this closely coupled L1 and L2 inductors. So as in this circuit, this S2 SCR can be turned on even before this S1 SCR not gone into the off condition. The frequency range of the inverter is increased. That means the output frequency can be greater than the ringing frequency of the resonant circuit. So in this circuit of improved series inverter, the limitations of the output frequency of the basic series inverter is eliminated by turning on this SCR2 during the conduction of this SCR1. Therefore, the maximum output frequency can be made more than the ringing frequency of the resonant circuit. Therefore, the frequency range of the inverter will be increased using this circuit. So only one drawback of the basic series inverter, that is the limitations on the output frequency, can be eliminated in the improved series inverter circuit. So in this circuit, the output frequency can be increased by turning on SCR2 before turning off SCR1. Therefore, the output frequency greater than the ringing frequency can be obtained by using this circuit. Now we will understand the working of this improved series inverter with coupled inductors. Here you can see the DC input source is connected in the input side. Due to this DC input source, this S1 SCR will be in the forward bias condition, and now it is ready to turn on. When we give trigger pulse at the gate terminal of this S1 SCR, it will go into the on condition. So we will consider that just before turning on SCR1. Now we will consider a current flowing in this loop, and it is I1, and a current flowing in this loop, that is I2. When this SCR1 goes into the on condition, the current which flows due to the on of this S1 SCR in this loop will be equal to I1. But just before turning on this SCR1, this I1 current will be equal to 0, and this I1 current will flow through this load resistor R here, as you can see here. When it will come from here, from the positive terminal of this voltage source, then it will flow through this load resistor here. So what will be the output voltage? Output voltage will be equal to I1 into R. Okay, so since just before turning on this SCR1, I1 current is 0, therefore load voltage will also be equal to 0 here. Now we will consider that the capacitor is charged with a small negative voltage which is equal to minus of VCO, with left hand side plate of the capacitor is positive and right hand side plate is negative, as shown in the figure. Okay. Now if we apply KVL in this loop, when output voltage is equal to 0, we will get Vs minus VL1 plus VCO is equal to 0. Since the load voltage is equal to 0 here, because this I1 is equal to 0, we are not considering load voltage in this equation. Now from this equation we will get voltage across L1 inductor VL1 is equal to Vs plus VCO. Now since this L1 and L2 inductor are closely coupled with each other, therefore the voltage across L2 inductor VL2 will also be equal to VL1. So here we will take VL2 is equal to Vs plus VCO. So same voltage will appear across L2 inductor also. Now let us see the polarity of the voltage across the capacitor and voltage across the inductor too. Okay. So here the negative polarity on the right hand side plate come towards the P side of this H2SCR, and the negative polarity on this inductor 2 in the downward terminal is coming towards the P side of this H2SCR. So because of this polarity of the capacitor voltage and polarity of the inductor voltage, this H2SCR will be in the reverse bias condition. That means this voltage across the capacitor VCO and this voltage across the inductor L2 VL2 will provide reverse bias to the SCR2. And here we can see this voltage across load resistor is coming across this H2SCR. Here it is positive and here it is negative. Okay. Because of this voltage, this SCR2 may go into the forward bias condition, but until and unless addition of these two voltages, that is VC plus VL2 is greater than the load voltage, this reverse bias across this H2SCR will be maintained. When this output voltage is greater than the summation of these two voltages VL2 plus VC, then this H2SCR will go out of the reverse bias condition. So until and unless this VL2 plus VC is greater than output voltage, H2SCR will be maintained in the reverse bias condition. This S1 SCR, which is in the forward bias condition due to this DC source, will given trigger pulse. When this S1 SCR given trigger pulse, it will act as closed switch and I1 current starts flowing in this loop. Now as soon as this I1 current starts flowing, the capacitor which is charged with negative voltage initially starts discharging. Okay. So this is the waveform of the capacitor voltage like this. It is initially at minus VCO. So initially when I1 starts flowing in this loop, this capacitor discharges. So the capacitor voltage goes to 0 value initially. Then after discharging, again due to the current flow in this loop, the capacitor starts charging with opposite polarity. That means before the positive polarity was on the left hand side plate and negative polarity on the right hand side plate. Now the polarity will be reversed. Here in the left hand side plate minus polarity will be there, and in the right hand side plate plus polarity will be there, and this voltage will be positive voltage. That means the positive curve which we are getting is this voltage. Now here in this circuit you can see the combination of this resistor, capacitor and inductor forms a RLC resonant circuit, and this resonant circuit is underdamped resonant circuit. Therefore the I1 current waveform will be like this in the positive axis. This is the I1 current waveform. That means initially the I1 current waveform will start from 0, it will reach to peak value, then it will reduce to 0. So this is the waveform of the I1 current or pulse of I1 current due to this RLC underdamped resonant circuit formed here. So when this I1 current reaches its peak value, after reaching the peak value, what is happening here? The current starts reversing itself to the downward direction, and here you can see this I1 current is also flowing through this L1 inductor. The inductor has the property to oppose the change of current through it. So when this I1 current reverses in the downward direction, the current through this inductor L1 is changing. So to oppose the change of current through this inductor will induce a EMF across it. Okay, and polarity of the EMF will be like this. Okay, so this is the induced EMF across the L1 inductor, negative on the upper terminal, positive on the lower terminal. And as the L1 and L2 inductor are closely coupled with each other, same polarity of the voltage will appear across this L2 inductor also. That means upper terminal negative, lower terminal positive. So here you can say that this L1 inductor is inducing the reverse polarity voltage across it to maintain the I1 current in the same direction as before. When the I1 current pulse is increasing from 0 value to peak value, in this part of the I1 pulse also the capacitor is charging, and in the later part, that is from peak value to 0 value, in the later half cycle of this I1 current pulse also the capacitor continue to charge with the polarity shown in the figure, that is positive on the right hand side plate and negative on the left hand side plate. Now you can see this circuit. The voltage across the capacitor and the voltage across the inductor 2, that is L2, will forward bias this S2 SCR, because this positive polarity on the right hand side plate of the capacitor and the positive polarity on the L2 inductor in the downward direction coming towards the P side of this S2 SCR. So this S2 SCR will go into the forward bias condition. That means due to this voltage across the capacitor and voltage across this inductor L2, this S2 SCR will go into the forward bias condition. Considering these polarities of the inductor voltage and capacitor voltage, if we apply KVL in this loop, again during I1 current, then Vs plus VL1, then minus Vc, then minus V0 is equal to 0. At the end of this current pulse, this I1 current goes to 0. So what is the load voltage? Load voltage will be equal to I1 into R. So we'll take this load voltage is equal to 0. So at the end of this current pulse, what happens? I1 becomes 0. Therefore the load voltage will also become 0. So when we put load voltage is equal to 0 in this equation, we will get capacitor voltage is equal to Vs plus VL1. So we can say that at the end of this I1 current pulse, the capacitor voltage is greater than the source voltage, because here the source voltage plus the voltage across the inductor L1 is equal to capacitor voltage. So at the end of this I1 current pulse, the capacitor voltage is greater than this source voltage. Source voltage was providing forward bias to this S1 SCR. Now this capacitor voltage is greater than this source voltage, and the positive polarity on this right hand side plate will go to the end side of this S1 SCR. Therefore this S1 SCR will go into the reverse bias condition and eventually turns off. Now we will consider firing of S2 SCR. As we have studied that S2 SCR went into the forward bias condition due to the voltage across this inductor L2 and voltage across this capacitor Vc. We consider a current in this loop, that is I2 current. So just before firing this S2 SCR, this S2 SCR is not conducting, therefore this I2 current will not flow in this loop. So we will consider I2 current is equal to 0. This I2 current will flow through this load resistor also like this. So load voltage will be equal to I2 into R is equal to 0. So before firing this S2 SCR, because this I2 current is equal to 0, the load voltage will also be equal to 0, and the capacitor voltage will be maintained equal to Vs plus VL1. That means capacitor voltage will be greater than the source voltage is maintained, because this capacitor voltage is not getting any part to discharge itself. So this capacitor voltage is maintained at Vs plus VL1. Now since this load voltage is equal to 0, this capacitor voltage will appear across this L2 inductor. So this L2 inductor voltage VL2 will be equal to capacitor voltage here. VL2 forward biases this S2 SCR. So this S2 SCR will go into the forward bias condition in this way. Now we are triggering this S2 SCR. That means we are providing gate pulse at the gate terminal of this S2 SCR. So this S2 SCR will go into the on condition and starts conducting the current. So I2 current starts flowing in this loop, and the current direction of this I2 in this load resistor will be in the upward direction. Okay, and the current direction of the I1 current was from upper point to lower point like this, and this I2 current is flowing from lower point to upper point through this load resistor here. So as soon as the gate pulse is given to this S2 SCR, I2 current starts flowing in this loop and this capacitor will be starts discharging through this L2 inductor, S2 SCR and the load resistor R. The capacitor voltage now it is equal to Vs plus VL1. Okay. Now when it starts discharging due to path provided by this inductor L2, S2 and resistor R, this voltage goes to 0 at one instant. After going to 0, what happens? Due to the presence of this voltage across the L2 inductor, it is further charged to negative voltage, that is reverse polarity voltage of VCO after going to 0. Okay. Now we will apply KVL in this inner loop considering I2 current. So we will get plus V0 minus of VCO plus VL2, this is plus VL2 is equal to 0. So from this equation we will get VL2 is equal to VCO minus V0. Now this VCO minus V0 will appear across this L2 inductor. Okay, now since this L2 inductor and L1 inductor are closely coupled to each other, therefore VL1 will also be equal to VCO minus V0. So this voltage of L1 will reverse by this S1 SCR. So this is the N side and here we are getting the positive polarity here. So this voltage here you can see this VL1 is equal to VCO minus V0 will reverse bias this S1 SCR since this VL1 is greater than the source voltage here. Thus we can say that the firing of the S2 SCR causes the S1 SCR to turn off in this circuit. Now we will consider the I1 and I2 current direction through this load resistor. So we have seen that the I2 current is flowing from the lower point to upper point, whereas I1 current was flowing from the upper point to lower point. And we have taken the I1 current in the positive axis. So since the I2 current is opposite to that of I1 current, I2 current we will take in the negative direction. That means I2 current pulse will be in the negative axis we will consider. This is I2 current and this is I1 current. Okay. So when the S1 SCR in the on condition, at that time I1 current is flowing through the load, and when this S2 SCR is in the on condition, I2 current was flowing through the load. Now we will consider the peak value of this I2 current. This is the peak value of the I2 current. Again, when after the peak value, this I2 current tries to reverse its direction in the downward direction. The current through this inductor L2 is also equal to I2. It will start to reverse its direction. So this L2 inductor has the property to oppose the change of current through it. So to oppose the change of current through it, it induces a EMF across it of opposite polarity. That means the voltage across the inductor L2 polarity will be reversed. After this peak value of the I2 current, if S1 SCR is fired, so this is the reverse polarity across the L2 inductor. So since this L2 inductor and N1 inductor are closely coupled with each other, so same polarity voltage will be appear across this L1 inductor also. So here you can see that towards this N side of this S1 SCR, this negative polarity of the VL1 voltage is coming. That means this S1 SCR will go into the forward bias condition after the peak value of I2 current. Okay, so after the peak value of I2 current, this S1 SCR will go into the forward bias condition. Now if this S1 SCR is given trigger pulse, it starts conducting current I1 in this loop. Now we will apply KVL in this loop. We will get VL1 is equal to Vs minus Vc minus V0. This VL1 voltage will forward bias this S1 SCR. When this S1 SCR is fired, what happens? I1 current starts flowing again. Now the voltage polarity of the L1 inductor will be positive on this point, negative on this point, and this same voltage will be appear across L2 inductor. That means plus on this point, minus on this lower point. Again towards this P side of this S2 SCR, this negative polarity is coming. That means this S2 SCR will go into the reverse bias condition and eventually turns off. Thus we can say that firing of the S1 SCR causes the turning of this S2 SCR. So always we have to remember that after the peak value of I1 current and after the peak value of I2 current only other SCR will be fired. That means after the peak value of I1 current S2 SCR will be fired, and after the peak value of I2 current S1 SCR will be fired in this improved series inverter. Then only we can get the output frequency greater than the ringing frequency. Now we will see the output voltage and current waveforms for the improved series inverter with coupled inductors. Here you can see this load current waveform is composed of I1 current and I2 current. This positive half cycle of the load current is I1 current pulse, and this negative half cycle of this load current will be I2 current pulse. Okay. So at time t is equal to 0, this S1 SCR is fired, and when this I1 current pulse reaches its peak value, after that at this peak value only this S2 SCR will be fired, and when this I2 current reaches its peak value, after this S1 SCR will be fired. So because of this, output frequency of series inverter will be more than the ringing frequency here. So this is the total time period, and this is the half of this total time period, that is T by 2 here. And the load voltage will be equal to load current into the load resistor, because we are using the resistive load here. So this positive half cycle of this load voltage waveform will be equal to I1 into R, and this negative half cycle of this load voltage waveform will be equal to I2 into R. Next is features of this improved series inverter. As we have discussed, due to the circuit arrangement, the firing of one SCR causes the turning of other conducting SCR even before load current goes to 0 naturally. So the output frequency higher than the ringing frequency can be obtained, and the harmonic content is less compared to basic series inverter in this improved series inverter with coupled inductor. Now in the next class we are going to discuss one more improved series inverter with 2 capacitors and 2 inductors. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.